Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. It's been the great beta weekend. We have the Marvel Tokon beta going on and the Avatar Fighters closed alpha going on. And there's just a lot of fighting game goodness going on at the moment. Avatar is all new to the lucky few who could get into the alpha, because not many did, apparently. But Tokon, this is the game's second run at bat. You may or may not have gotten into the betas, but you've seen the game before. It's a known quantity now. And there's been some discussion about that fact. Now that it's a known quantity and it's been seen before, there's some allegations being thrown around the game that it is sauceless. That there's not a lot of cool tech, there's not a lot of cool combos, there's not a lot of cool, well, anything. And to be frank, I don't know if I fully agree with that, but it's something I do want to talk about in this video. Among some other things, because there's quite a bit going on here, because there's some new content here. Now, granted, there's some small changes. That's not really what I want to go over. Like, there's like a dedicated quick tag button, but you don't need it because they also changed how tagging worked to make it a little bit easier, but it's another option if you want it. But the big change is we got new characters. We have Ghost Rider and we have Spider-Man, and both play very different than the currently existing characters in the beta. And another thing to talk about is one previous existing controversy, if you want to call it that, has had another layer or wrinkle added to it. So we're going to get into everything in this video, including the fact that we got to talk about Avatar versus Tokon. You know, maybe that wasn't a war we thought was a thing or an issue or something to bring up, but then they went and had to have their betas on the same weekend, and comparisons are frankly inevitable. So let's talk all about that and more, and let's start with the new additions to the roster here, Ghost Rider and Spider-Man. So to be frank, I mostly focused on Ghost Rider with my time with the beta right now, because he's more my kind of character. He's got big buttons. He very surprisingly has a command grab, which I did not know about. Like, we've seen previews of these characters, but I didn't know about the command grab where their car hits you in the face. That one was news to me, and definitely rose Ghost Rider's stocks, in my opinion. Spider-Man, while cool, like, I like the character of Spider-Man, but gameplay-wise, like, he's nimble and tricksy, and that's not really my style. I play more the stupider, more ignorant characters. But if you're looking for a highly mobile mixed monster, well then, Spider-Man's your boy. And I mean mobile. He has his like web zip, which is his trait button, and he can move around like crazy. Like Ms. Marvel has that to a degree, but the fact that Spider-Man can pick all sorts of directions, up, down, left, right, angles, all over the screen. He can go nuts, fly in on your face, and just be attacking you basically at any point that he wants. And it's kind of scary, I'm not gonna lie. And then add the fact he can like dunk you with it as well. Like, it's very multifaceted and it's very interesting. And take the mobility and the fact he can add traps on the screen. That's another thing I didn't know. I watched some of the other older footage that was out there, and maybe I missed it, but I had no idea he could set traps up on the screen. That's kind of nuts. So like, Spidey's really cool, but just with the archetype is not my kind of dude. Like, just not for me. But I can imagine a lot of people will be very happy with him. Like, if you're just talking like the hero fantasy, the power fantasy of playing Spider-Man, yo, this is a pretty good Spider-Man is what I'm trying to say. And then we got Ghost Rider, right? So I said I mostly played Ghost Rider, and we knew a bunch of things. That was how he worked. Like, he has the heat up gauge, which is effectively, to compare to, say, Guilty Gear, it's like Nagoriyuki's blood meter, just more flavored for Ghost Rider. The higher it is, the better all your stuff gets. But if you go too high, you can overheat and you're stunned, you lock yourself out of abilities, and there's a good chance you're gonna get beat up really bad. Gotta ride the edge without going over kind of deal. And he is, I guess for lack of a better term, he's the limb zoner of the game. Now, don't go calling him Dalsum or Axel Low or nothing, but the boy's got some range with that change. Like, jump forward heavy goes like 80% of the screen. It's pretty satisfying. However, as a limb zoner, as opposed to a traditional zoner, you can hit the chain and hit Ghost Rider. So you just tossing that out is not free, by the way. Some other things I found interesting, like the big, chain spin, right? So it gets better as the levels go up. and it has follow-ups. And the follow-ups are the really interesting part. So he can dash cancel it. Like, that's scary. Remember, he has a command grab, so you can dash cancel the spin, dash forward, and go for the command grab right away. And if they blink or just, are passive or whatever, that's a big chunk of damage. Like, mix was not what I was expecting out of the character. And also the flame spin. The mix is there. It has an overhead and a low follow-up. And you can get full combos off of these too if you have your assist ready. So, like, this was a level of pressure I wasn't expecting. I just expect long range, zone out all day, right? He can get in your face and make you sweat, which frankly, good on him, basically. Like, that works to his benefit. Also has flame breath. I'm not sure. I think flame breath might be plus on block, or at least higher levels of your heat. It has to be plus on block, but we don't got frame data, so who knows for sure. But it seems like a good close range pressure tool. But all in told, I just found the character really fun. Like, I like big normals on a character, and he's got big normals. Jump forward heavy goes 80% of the screen. His regular stand heavy is like half the screen. His crouch medium, which is a low, and launches to a small degree to keep him floating. That can go really good. His combo structure, I found pretty satisfying, at least visually satisfying the whole time, because just stuff spinning and fires everywhere, and that looks pretty cool. And the fact that when you're in a block string, you have multiple layers to scam people with command grabs. You have the flame pit move, which is kind of like NetherRealm Studios coded a little bit, where you can just hit a button and the flame pit appears anywhere on the screen, depending on your button press. And admittedly, it's a very slow move, but it's really strong. It seems really advantage on block if they block it. It will slightly launch them if it hits, so you just get combo extensions off of that. Like, a lot of his stuff just seems pretty interesting. I can tell you with my time with the game, because I did play this beta and the previous beta, I think I enjoy Ghost Rider of all the characters the most. I like just the general playstyle. I like he has a command grab, and of the characters that have command grabs, his is the best because it scales with his heat mechanic, and at level 3 it actually really hurts. The other few command grabs in the game don't hurt that much realistically. I like managing the heat mechanic because on top of just doing more damage at level 3, the level 3 heat moves actually are better than your EX moves. Like, it's actually better than spending bar. And they also gain new properties. Like his flame spin becomes, if you do the overhead, it becomes a natural combo starter. No need for an assist, which is really cool. He definitely has some pronounced weaknesses. He seems to struggle against characters that are good at staying on top of the screen and just throwing projectiles. But, everyone needs a weakness. But yeah, just actually fun. Like, I had a lot of fun with Ghost Rider. I think come the launch of the game, he's making the team. Of course, we got a lot more characters to be revealed yet. I've said this so many times now. This game was announced 6 months ago, and we only know the characters that were revealed 6 months ago, not anybody else. You give me a Hulk, a She-Hulk, Thing, Juggernaut, or like anyone who's big, because I'm a cheap parody of myself, right? I like the big characters. Like, we'll see who the main roster is, but of the existing characters, Ghost Rider's just fun. I dig him. So now let's move on to an old controversy and let's breathe some new life into it. So we're looking at the X-Men stage, and it was revealed to a lot of fanfare because a lot of your favorite characters of Marvel Comics are on this stage. And one thing you could argue is very unfortunate is, while not 100%, if they're a background character in the stage, that means there's more than likely a good chance they won't be a playable character. But now, as of this build, we have a little hiccup thrown into that. So let's take another look at the stage and whoa. Wait a second. What are you doing here, Storm? So this was not in the trailer originally. So if Storm is not a selected character in one of the two teams, she will be in the background of the stage, showing up later as the rounds progress. And obviously, she's a playable character, and yet she's in the background. So basically, there's a lot we can take away from this one way or the other. Like, one, hey, debunked. She's playable in the background, done. But then again, we know what she looks like in-game. Her player model's a lot higher quality than some of these other characters in the background. I think it's safe to argue, right? And when you look at her in the background, she's not as animated, right? It looks like they kind of copy and pasted her in. She's like basically almost static with like 3 or 4 frames of animation, versus when you're just watching the regular gameplay and you see all the other characters, They're doing all sorts of stuff. They're emoting everywhere. They're doing things. Whereas Storm, just sort of hanging out, right? Now, granted, they can't make her part of the grander stage if she's playable. Like, here where she's a part of my team. She's playable on my team, so she's not going to be in the background. Sure, right? But still, I don't know. It's an interesting wrinkle to the discussion. At bare minimum, a playable character is somebody in the background of a stage. Everything else, I'll leave it for your arguments to decide. And by the way, please post in the comments below what you think about that, because I know some people are up in their feelings. A lot of people want to see like Rogue or Gambit as playable characters. But, if they're not allowed to be playable if they're in the background, right, that would make a lot of disappointed people. Like, I would like to see Iceman or Colossus as playable characters. I don't want to just see them in backgrounds forever. But, well, I guess we'll find out once we know more of the roster. Another thing I want to touch on real quick here with the addition of this X-Men stage is stages matter. Stages usually in 2D fighting games are nothing more than background pieces. Sometimes you'll get the rare standout like Injustice, but otherwise usually it's just background. It's just there to look pretty, nothing else. Now with Tokon, with these 2 new stages, the stage actually matters. Like, it will inform your gameplay strategy. The original New York stage from the beta had center stage, wall break left, wall break to your right, so making 3 total segments. The Savage Land stage is 2 wall breaks to the left, 2 wall breaks to the right, so 5 segments. And the X-Men stage, there ain't no wall breaks. Like, you just get hit on the corner, you just get hit on the corner. That's it, that's kind of all, right? Meaning, you can always reliably add to your damage no matter what you're doing. And these stages are not long. It's very easy to corner someone in this game. That's part of the reason why wall breaks are a thing, right? Like, from round start, I could push you into the corner. And if I can get corner combos at basically guaranteed round start, and you're just getting bullied and getting even more damage, the stage actually matters for your team composition. Like, if you're playing some characters that have some particularly strong corner setups or corner combos, you're actually better served on the X-Men stage than some other stages. Like, the long-term ramifications, it'll take a while to really get that figured out, to be honest with you. But I just think it's really cool that their stages actually matter in 2D Fighter, because once again, they usually don't. Now, to get into one of the big arguments that's going on since this new beta has begun. Is this game sauceless, as some would put it, right? Is there a lack of depth in the game? And that, I think there's some factors to talk about. One, it's a beta, right? We don't know everything in a beta. We learn quick these days, but we don't know everything. 2, there's no training mode. You can beat up a computer, which certainly helps. It's a lot easier than learning in a live fire situation, but it's still beating up a computer that doesn't agree with you. You can learn stuff beating up a computer, but the learning process is so much slower than any kind of even limited training mode. Like, in the gameplay footage, the combos you see me doing with Ghost Rider, I'm very certain these are not anywhere near optimal, right? This is what I could learn in like an hour of messing around before I headed online against a not terribly cooperative computer. So if you're worrying about what's optimal or what's swaggy or what's cool, we're not really gonna figure that out in a beta, especially without training mode. Give it time. The biggest thing I can ever say about that, just out of the gate, is I've seen this argument a lot over the years for a lot of games. And let me tell you, every time it's brought up, this game has no depth, this game has no tech, this game has no this, that, or the other, it's always wrong. Every single time. Really as simple as that. Let the game breathe. Now, it could very well be that, given time, this game's not everyone's cup of tea. For sure, not every fighting game is. And this game's definitely doing things a bit different than how a lot of fighting games usually go. And to be fair, a lot of the combo system is like, ABC, call your assist to rebounce or re-roll them, then combo from there, right? And that's by design. This game is an assist-based game, and I think a lot of the combo system is very much informed by you using your assists. That's why there's a combo bar or combo meter that fills when you do it, and the combo bar lowers when you call your assist. They want you to use your assists in the combos. But when they say there's no sauce, there's no depth, or no whatever, I don't know if I agree. Like, even in this incredibly limited environs where it's very difficult to actually learn stuff, because there is no training mode, people are pulling off some stuff. Like in this example here from Yuri Paradise, using Doom's shield to just constantly bounce the opponent back into them over and over and over. I think that's pretty dang cool. Like, maybe that's just me, but works for me. Or this example here from SE Mike, which is incredibly team synergistic. Doom Assist tags in the Doom, uses the already active shield from Captain America to keep the combo going. That's already cool. Uses the Ghost Rider Flame Pit Assist to keep the combo going after Doom's hit grab attack, right? Then we call in an assist for Iron Man and hard tag into Iron Man. And while Doom's already holding him in place, go for the dive and then go for the big cinematic super with the extra meter option that Iron Man gets, right? So this used all 4 members of the team in a very cool and interesting way that's gonna pay off damage-wise. And this is just some of the many things I'm seeing on social media in a beta where it's difficult to lab stuff out. So no, I don't believe this game is particularly limited in terms of combos or, visual flair combos or whatever. Like, it's just hard to do combos without a training mode, so we are sticking to the basic stuff. Now, if you have an issue with that assists are effectively mandatory for combos, I guess that's a discussion to be had, but the game's just simply very much designed around it. Like, there's just no avoiding it. That's why they start you with at least 2 characters, so you can always use an assist extension on any combo at any time, basically. Now, one thing I would definitely say is I think sometimes assists can be limited a little bit. Like, if you are hitting somebody, it's always basically the same generic assist no matter who you're playing, as it'll just bounce them, you keep the combo going. Some characters have very neat assists in neutral, but definitely in at least these stages here, most of the time you're seeing assists is going to be just, ABC launch, ABC spike, assist combo extension, finish the combo. So perhaps when it comes to assist use in combos, maybe not as varied or interesting as it potentially could be. But then again, there's a lot of ways to create capture states or hold people in place so you can be neutral, so you don't have to call the combo assist, and that potentially can create a lot of things, but we'll need training mode to figure it out, basically. But basically, I'm just going to hold true to how it's always worked. Never write a fighting game off early on, especially when it comes to perceived depth, because give it 2 weeks after launch, and what we know now is like 1% of what will actually be there. It happens every time. I've seen this happen every time. It's just how it goes. Now, will you like it when we get there? That's an argument for another day, I suppose. But, give the game time. There's stuff to it. Once again, the examples I showed earlier from Twitter, that's just some of many that I've seen. We'll get there. Don't worry. And the last thing I want to talk about here is somewhat related to the previous section, because I don't think the previous section would be talked about as much if this beta was not running the exact same time as the Avatar closed alpha. Now, realistically, in a vacuum, such dates for things like betas and events and all that, they're planned out well in advance. It's marketing, y'all. They don't figure this out like the week beforehand. But still, Avatar had their date first, and then Tokon went on and said, no, we're sticking with this one. And I think it kind of blew up in their face a little bit. As someone who follows all this stuff very closely, a lot of the initial reception to Avatar before this closed alpha was kind of negative. Like, people are like, oh, looks like a Flash game, blah, blah, blah. And now that the game's out in the wild and people are seeing how it actually plays like, it's a total 180. People are excited, people are hyped, people like the way the game looks, people are liking the way the game plays. It's kind of a big love-in. And when you compare the new flashy toy to Tokon, the thing we've already seen before and sort of know what it's all about, the new toy is always going to shine brighter. Because Avatar is shining so bright, it makes Tokon look a little bit more dim. And this is not Tokon's fault in any way, shape, or form necessarily. Like, a lot of the complaints people are having about Tokon now are effectively existing complaints, maybe magnified a little bit because it's the second at-bat for the game, but it's nothing we necessarily haven't really heard before. But then again, Avatar is new, and Avatar also has a training mode you can use in its alpha, so the cooler aspects of the game, people can actually figure it out and display it a lot faster. This is one of the biggest things where I think Marvel Tokon has kind of failed at, is training is part of the marketing of the game. I know the idea is they want you just to play matches so they can gather whatever metrics they're going to gather, but training is part of the core fighting game experience. No matter what level of skill you are, from, just the most casual of casuals to Evo champion, You are expected as a fighting game player to engage in training mode. You are expected to learn the mechanics, learn your character, and learn some stuff. It's part of the experience, right? And Avatar made that very easy, and thus made it very easy to showcase what's cool about the game, what's fun about the game, right? It's not being hidden. When people can't go in the training mode, especially for themselves, like, I got to show you some Twitter clips. I didn't figure out that stuff myself because I had limited time. And with that limited time, the combo I could figure out was like ABC assist, launch, ABC spike, right? Like the basic stuff. Versus in that same amount of time, the stuff I've learned in Avatar since is pretty wild. Because I had a training mode and could unlock the potential for the game for myself quite easily. Like, to be real, every beta for every fighting game ever, if there's no training mode, all you're going to get is complaints that there's no training mode. And it hurts the experience of that beta. Like, yes, go play, gather metrics, whatever, right? But people don't feel comfortable just going to play other players and not knowing what they're doing. And I think this is finally like coming to a head with this specific beta. It's always been a problem, but now you're head to head with another game and it has training mode, and that training mode allows people to see what's cool about the game right out of the gate compared to your game. It's just not working. So again, I think there's depth to the game, but you have no training mode and it makes it hard for people to figure it out, and it's only hurting your product rather than helping. There'll probably be one more beta before launch. You know, these are closed betas, so do an open beta. But whenever that open beta is, let people train. Trust me, it'll be a net positive. Maybe you get a little bit less metrics or whatever, but just any fighting game in the future, even if it's the most bare bones training mode, put in a training mode. It'll help a lot more than it'll hurt. So all that now said, just to close out and just talk about Tokon as a whole, it's fun. I like it. Like, I liked it last time around. And other than some minor changes, the only real changes in this beta is that there is 2 new characters. I really like one of those 2 in Ghost Rider, and I continue to like the game as it stands. Like, there's still a lot of usual beta silliness, like, hey, we still got rage quitters. Why on earth would you rage quit during a beta? It's a beta. Why would... It happened in Avatar too. I have rage quitters in Avatar. I can understand sometimes you get up in your feelings if you're going to lose your rank points. This is a beta. It's not that serious. It's already dumb to do it when the game's out, but especially when it's a beta. But anyways, I never get that. But yeah, I liked the game before. I like the game now. I'm looking forward to where the game's going to go in the future. I like the Marvel properties. I like the Marvel characters. I really want to see more characters. It's been long enough. At least give us one new character, please. But my opinion from last time around, it hasn't really changed. Still think the game's pretty cool. Expect plenty more Marvel Tokon coverage on the channel as time goes by, and whenever the game comes out, it's supposed to be out in 2026. Whenever the game comes out, of course, naturally, I'll have all sorts of info, guides, strategies, all that kind of stuff for you. And that all said, I would love to know where you're at, right? Are you a little frustrated with Marvel Tokon? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Please let me know in the comments below. And that said, that is the end of the video. So, thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some fighting games.